there are like billions of planets that are just like Earth.
Huh?
There are billions of planets that are just like Earth.
How high were you when this
Oh,
did not occur?
I was looking into like recent discoveries of NASA.
Oh.
But there's like there's a solar system called Kepler, different galaxy, which our solar system is like one of like hundreds of thousands of solar systems within our galaxy.
Yeah.
And then in another galaxy, they have like the Kepler system, and then each planet is like given like it's Kepler 1, Kepler 2,
Okay, yeah.
1. I think it was like Kepler 16 or something like that, where the temperature recorded from there on the day they got the information was 85 degrees. And then it has oceans. It has like
what the fuck?
It has like countries that look like the size of Europe, just scattered all around in an ocean. But it's green, like the water's blue, land is green.
Yeah.
And they said that it's like extremely similar to Earth, except for their sun is more orange than ours. But it turns out it's not just that one solar system. It turns out there's just almost an endless amount of solar systems that have their planet that has the same situation, like oceans and land with vegetation growing on it.
What the fuck?
And then, so they said that the odds of there being no other life around besides us has now become like 99.9% that we are not alone out there.
Yeah.
But there's still the possibility that we are the most, I guess, technologically advanced. We might go to this other planet, like eventually.
Yeah.
And find out that the dinosaurs are still there. Or we go to another planet and it's kind of like they reached like an age where what's living there is similar to us. Like they have like their mammal category.
Yeah.
They might title it something else, and then the smartest thing there is an ape.
Oh, okay.
But where did they say this was at? What planet?
The thing I'm thinking about is like Kepler
16
or something like that. Different galaxy.
Yeah.
But there's like hundreds of thousands within our galaxy of solar systems.
Yeah.
Well, in our solar system, not our system, our galaxy, there's like a few other planets that are probably inhabitable. Like the closest one is the one that I'm talking about, if I got the number right. But there's a few like it, but the one that I'm mostly focused on, because it's the least amount of distance away from us.
Yeah.
The temperature reading on it was 85 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
And
it's a pretty average temperature.
They're oceans, and they have lands that are like, it's like the size of Europe, just scattered lands all over the ocean.
So obviously there's some sort of life
green,
on there, man.
So there's vegetation growing there too.
Well, with vegetation, that is life.
Yeah, so, but then there's a lot of other planets that are also similar, but like different sizes, and then the size of their sun is different.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you have to be living close to the equator for it to be similar to Earth. But if you go like too far north or too far south, it gets like beyond the freezing zones that Earth has.
Well, see, I've also been a believer in this idea that do we necessarily have to have the same type of qualities in our environment to live for other species out there to live in that type of
based off what they could figure out off the planets within our own solar system?
Yeah.
It looks like no.
That's what I'm saying, because like, okay, I don't know if you guys heard about that Japanese shark, or the Japanese shark, the like it's wearing a fucking rice hat and everything. Fucking that prehistoric shark that was still alive, and obviously it had lived its years down in the deepest parts of the ocean, and when it made it to the Sea of Japan and more shallower waters, it eventually died because it's a totally different environment.
Yeah. Okay, so it was probably really sick, and that's what made it go up too high.
But obviously it's not going to survive in an environment that isn't very similar to the one it was living in.
To me, in my perspective, if we were to like go to this planet and say it's like harsher or something, but it's still livable, I think how we in scientific terms, how we evolved from ape to humans. If we were to adapt to that and have offspring on that planet that adapts to that, and then we'll have, I don't know, maybe if the say the atmosphere was thinner or something, maybe their lungs would be more expand, can hold their breath longer, and then if they have kids,
Well, yeah,
I think they would
learning to
evolve and adapt to more on a physical.
Well, I have to
level.
contest against your theory because we did not evolve from apes. We evolved from Adam's ball bag. Okay.
Wow, this is true.
Yes.
Well, because like,
that's true.
and that's like if you think
Yeah, a lot
about
of
it,
the stories.
because like, I mean, scorpions, they used to be fucking huge and live in the ocean. Now they're fucking tiny as shit, live on land.
Yeah.
So
I mean, yeah, because you got millions of years of evolution just happening.
Like the possibility of life within our solar system, like before you reach Pluto, if that's even a planet anymore.
No, it's considered dwarf planet or something.
They're like they're like the
Better
kind of
call
science
Adrian,
that
tell me.
we call it planet.
Packed his bags.
Okay. In Saturn, one of their moons called Callisto.
Yeah.
It's like 100% ocean.
Yeah. Which is life.
If it's 100% ocean, that means there's enough gravity to keep the water down.
Yeah.
And if water means life, even though if it's I don't know how far sub-zero temperatures it is, but it's water. And given we have creatures living in like ridiculous depths here, you probably do have creatures there. It's just nothing that can really leave, as far as we know.
Because I mean, honestly, we've only tapped into what, like 5% of the ocean explored. We still don't even know what the fuck's out there, and yet we're over here fucking exploring other galaxies and other planets. To
me, it's like I forgot the exact numbers, but I spent like a whole hour trying to do math.
Shit.
Kepner or Kenter, whatever. But to reach that planet, said it was 4 light years away.
Oh, fuck that.
And then
that's a long fucking time, man.
I remember at first they were saying like if you had a car that could travel through space and it was going 100 miles an hour, it would have taken like 700,000 years to get there. And then I like got off that site, went to another site, and I was like, what is like the fastest traveling modern rocket ship?
Yeah.
And they said like they have one now that can go 36,000 miles per hour. And so I started having to like just do the math based on those two things, and after like an hour of like forgetting some shit, and I was like, fuck, like scrap that paper. And
He's got a whole fucking chalkboard equation and shit.
Yeah, I'm like in an 18-wheeler, like, and I'm just like in an 18-wheeler in the middle of nowhere, just like doing math. And then when it turns out, like with the current ship they have right now, it would take like roughly 1,200 something years for the modern rocket ship that reaches 36 miles per hour to get there. So I was like, okay, so if we send not just a group of people, we need a lot of people, and you pretty much need like a section of Earth capsulized and sent.
Yeah.
And then you have to hope you have at least like 4 or 5 generations of people that are going to remain dedicated to this mission, and then the ship can last that long, and they have to have enough sustenance for themselves to survive long enough to reach it. And then I started also thinking about like as fast as technology is growing, wouldn't it suck if if you're like 25 years old, you did everything you need to do, you're in NASA, you're like an astronaut, and you decided to go on this mission, and then when you're like 60 years old, you've been out there your whole life. Then you like receive word back. Finally, it's like we have a ship that can like go 3 times your speed now.
You should have waited, dumbass.
I was like, man, okay. And then the black holes, they have an effect on like the whole universe. Like where the black holes are, they kind of expand, but they also push the universe into expansion as well.
Like how?
If it's 4 light years away from this planet I've been talking about,
so it's push it further.
If it takes us another like 200 years to reach a technology that could probably get there within one person's lifetime, it's going to be further away. Me looking into the possibility of other life forms out there, looks like we're getting further and further away from discovering them. Also, along with that, if life forms could exist in other planets that are not like Earth, there's a good chance that they're going to be more insect related, not like humanoids.
Like Predator?
I'm
I
just
mean,
thinking like things that can hibernate if
or
temperatures get
aliens?
too crazy. Like you know how with like
Xenomorphs?
a lot of ants, like if there's a flooding,
Yeah.
the ants will like turn into like this huge ball of ants.
Yeah. Yeah. I've
And
seen
they'll
that.
float until they find land again, and then
Yeah.
they'll recreate a new place. It's like, but like they just turn this big ball of ants.
Right.
And there's also those insects where like the temperature is like if you go through an ice age, there's a lot of insects that would just survive being frozen. Just they have something in their system.
This
that
just
makes them
reminds me
adaptable
of
for
that movie, The Thing.
Okay, so if we get
Yeah.
like my girlfriend, she like likes the idea of meeting an extraterrestrial. I was like, well, what if they're a lot more like a bunch of praying mantises?
Yeah.
And then they have no idea how to communicate with us, but we're edible size. So
Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
I like it.
We see that, and then that makes sense too, because I think I for one believe that there is other life forms out there.
Oh yeah, it has
Because
to
it's
be.
just like the what was it, the Black Knight satellite or the Dark Knight satellite? You ever heard about that?
Yeah.
That shit was even before humans even existed. So how the fuck did that shit get there?
Yeah, I mean,
You know, supposedly. You
well,
know?
yeah, no, I understand. I mean, if you look at a lot of the stuff that's been recorded throughout thousands and thousands of years, look at the Nazca lines, man. Look at all just the pyramids themselves. Like, how in the hell did 3 different continents get the same idea? You know what I mean? People with no way of being able to travel to these different continents to show each other how to do these things. You know,
Yeah.
they had to learn it from somewhere else. Extraterrestrials, man. They have a lot of cave drawings of extraterrestrial shit.
They
Even
didn't
in the
have
Bible
Mexicans back
itself.
then.
Even the Bible itself talks about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like everywhere in the Bible where it says like when they describe it as an angel.
Yeah, because
They
there's
say,
no
like,
other word
this
for it.
being
Yeah.
came from the skies in a glowing chariot and spoke in the perfect voice. Well, as vague as that is, what is a perfect voice? Because the ancient Egyptians talked about like 12 brothers from the sky who spoke to them not with words, but we knew.
Yeah.
So
I see what you're saying. Or even in some of the paintings, like some of the paintings, like in Vatican and shit like that. There's or it might not have been the Vatican. I forgot where it was. I was watching Ancient Aliens, and they had a painting of I guess one of the stories from the Bible.
Right. Ezekiel, probably.
And in that passage, they obviously painted up the description of it, and you can clearly see an unidentified flying object. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, you see the bubble, you see
Like it has
they even
windows
drew
or
like
something?
I mean, basically, and there's even like little what looks like flames behind it. You know, and,
Yeah.
and they had whoever it was, I forgot who it was, man. I mean, I'm really bad at that shit, but he's looking at it and pointing like in the picture, you know, and it's
Right.
very faint. You know,
Right.
obviously it's in the distance. So if that's even recorded back then, there has to be
if
to be.
extraterrestrials are like, I guess, strategic about everything they do, it would make sense to not visit us now.
But it sucks that thousands of years later, until 1947, when people actually really started taking it seriously, instead of thinking of it as witchcraft or fucking some kind of bullshit.
Being over there in Albuquerque, I've been to Roswell plenty of fucking times,
Yeah.
and everything out there is alien. Like the fucking McDonald's.
I heard the Walmart is alien.
It is. No,
Yeah.
they do. They even have fucking like 16-foot statues of aliens right next to a fucking McDonald's sign, holding up the McDonald's. You know, shit like that. I mean, they take pride in that shit. You know.
I will.
But if you go to the museum, they have supposedly material of some of the wreckage, and it looks like aluminum foil, but it doesn't feel like aluminum foil.
So you actually touched the stuff?
No, this is what they explained to us.
Oh,
so
okay.
I mean, it's in a big ass container. You know,
Yeah.
like if high pressurized, air's not getting in that fucker, shit like that.
Yeah.
But seeing some of the stuff, some of it like
Zero gravity.
to me, like 10% of that shit, like I think they just fucking put out there. 'Cause I'm like, that's a fucking camshaft. That ain't no fucking, shit like that.
Like, I don't think the extraterrestrials are using pistons in their
yeah, no shit. I remember seeing some of the memes when they're gonna rush Area 51. They're gonna LS swap a UFO and shit. I was like, what the fuck? Dude? They probably would.
I want to see a
man.
whole bunch of stupid people go first.
Yeah.
See how that
Eliminate
turns
a lot
out.
of stupid people.
Oh man.
Because every time you get to see, like, let's say if I have an interest in going to Area 51, figure something out for myself. If I can send like a whole bunch, like hundreds of stupid people first, just to see how Area 51 reacts,
Yeah.
well then I know what to prepare for.
Gerbils.
Yeah.
Prepare for
Test.
gerbils. Okay.
A
You
test
guys are-
drive.
You guys